What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Team Member Perspective podcast show. I'm your host, Coulter, and hey, we're back. We're back at it again. Guys, I'm a big believer in consistency. I'm a big believer in how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I'm running into that every single day, right? And with this podcast, it's honestly, guys, it's not the easiest thing to put out a podcast consistently week after week and just continue to be consistent there. But of anything, guys, sometimes I don't even have an idea of what I want to talk about or the topics that I want to cover. I have an idea, and I have all this experience that I can document with lessons that I've learned. But sometimes I just don't have a plan. But I just know that if I continue to just follow the process and do what needs to be done week after week, I know that that will get me somewhere. I'm going to make progress if I can just consistently show up week after week and put a podcast episode together. And, as we're going on the 35th, 36th episode now, it's fun to look back and see how much I've grown, because this is uncomfortable. It's not like you're born to just be a great podcaster. And honestly, if I go back and I listen to the first couple episodes, I'll probably make me cringe a little bit. And I knew that when I first started. And I think this in my life, I had the right expectations coming into this. I understood that, look, you're going to be pretty bad at podcasting early on. Why? Because you haven't done it before. But just imagine, just give yourself 100 episodes and then evaluate them. That's kind of been how I've approached this. And it's been a breath of fresh air. It's been a cool experience for me to just, even though I know that sometimes it's not perfect, or even though I know that I didn't bring the idea together like I wanted to, the simple act of just showing up and doing has been so beneficial for me. And it's allowed me to be consistent in other areas of my life. How you do one thing is how you will do everything. As I've taken that more and more to heart and put that more and more into practice, I've seen how true that is. And I've seen how my consistency in just simply podcasting has helped me in consistency in, say going to the gym, or consistency in doing shorts, which is another form of content, right? Or in consistency in emailing every day or making sales calls every day. Being consistent in one thing helps to be consistent in other areas as well. It's like that consistency spills into other areas of your life. I think that's cool. And I think that's a realization that I've had that I think I can utilize for myself going forward, that when I set out to do these big things, that I have proof that, look, you're not going to know how to do things 100% all of the time. In fact, more often than not, you're really just trying different things, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, and you're also learning what does not work, right? So you don't really know what works and what doesn't until you just do it and do it long enough. For me to get into this and do a podcast and go on for 5 or 6 weeks and then give up, I don't feel like that's fair to make any assumptions or judgments because you've only done 5 episodes. Give yourself some time, right? Be okay with feeling uncomfortable. Be okay with looking like a fool. And I don't know what that's going to take for you, but for me, it was just understanding that people aren't actually thinking about me. As much as I convinced myself that all of these people were focusing in on me and looking at me and thinking about me, whatever they were thinking about, the more I realized about how I'm thinking about myself, it gave me good insight into what other people are probably thinking. People aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, okay? And so that's helped me reframe things and just be okay with failing, because look, if I sound like a dummy on the phone with a customer about life insurance and they laugh at me, they're not going to remember that long, right? They're not going to be thinking about that long. But guys, that is a very extreme example. I've never had a customer laugh at me, okay? But I'm just saying, even if it was to that extent, It's not something that they're going to hold on to forever because they're busy with their life. They're busy thinking about themselves, and they're not thinking about this conversation they had with their insurance person. In public places, I used to be the type of person that would kind of have a little social anxiety. And if you can relate to that, it's normal. Don't label yourself in any type of way, right? Just because you have some, you're a little apprehensive to the social environment. It's okay. I felt the same way. I just didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to converse. I was so in my head about what people were thinking of me, right? So it's taken time, but I'll tell you, even with that, just leaning into the uncomfortable and being okay with those harder situations. Light went out, but we're gonna keep going here. No, I think my wife set me up with these automatic plugs, and I think it's actually set at PM, and it should actually be AM because it's actually PM. So I gotta fix that. Anyways, sidetrack, we're back. So yeah, leaning into the uncomfortable, and even though you aren't, you don't know everything 100%, you don't know life insurance 100%, or you don't know the product details like you want to know them. You don't know how to overcome all of these objections that you're probably going to get. You don't really know how to communicate. You don't know how to sell. All of that will happen. You can learn all of those things. But I think in order for you to learn them, you've got to lean into the uncomfortableness of just bringing up life insurance in the first place. Even though you don't know any of those things, commit to just bringing it up. You'll have context. You will have this proof and this confidence that you can actually do it, right? And if you can just commit right now to just saying, you know what, Coulter, I'm going to bring up life insurance 4 times today. Even though I don't even know how to sell life insurance, I don't know much about life insurance, I just don't have the confidence. I don't think people need it. If you can just lean into the fact that, you feel this way, but you're still going to bring it up anyway. And if you can just lean into getting yourself to do that and first committing and saying, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it. And then you actually go and do it. There is so much power in doing what you say you're going to do. You have that proof that you say who you are. Literally, you say you're going to do it and then you do it. There's a lot of power that comes from that. And I think that's when the confidence starts to build. That's when you'll start to realize, oh my gosh, I've been saying it like this all the time, but here's what I learned in this sales training. I can actually say that instead. Let's try it out, right? That's when you gain the sales skills. That's when you gain the communication skills, is when you have experience doing the thing, right? And so, I look at it with my public speaking as well. I wasn't born a public speaker. I haven't done public speaking. Is it uncomfortable? Oh my gosh, yes. Especially if you've got a couple hundred people in the audience listening to you. It's uncomfortable. It's not meant to be comfortable. And so the first time that I did this was, just about a year and a half ago. It wasn't too long ago. But someone reached out to me and they said, hey, we're holding this conference. Do you want to speak? And guys, at this point in my life, I hadn't spoke in front of people. I didn't really even know what I was going to talk about, but I was given the opportunity and I said, absolutely, sign me up. I will be there. And guess what? Over the next few weeks or months, I think there's a couple months in between. So over the next few months, guess what I did? Well, I knew I was going to be speaking in front of a couple of hundred people. And so I got books on how to be a good public speaker. I listened to podcasts. Guys, I started to just do my research and start to learn what good public speakers do. And so, I did that and it was a phenomenal experience for me. It was one of those confidence builders where it's like, oh my gosh, something that seemed very, very nerve-wracking, something that seemed almost quite impossible for me to do, I just did it and it actually went okay. Guess what that did for me going forward? Guys, it totally built my confidence. Now, I don't care how many people I'm speaking in front of, I will do it. I've done it before, I can do it again. And, I've done a handful of speaking engagements since, and I'm not as nervous like I used to be. Of course, there's going to be nerves, right? But it's been the coolest thing in the world to just see that when you just commit to doing something that you aren't 100% certain that you know how to do, but you just do it anyway. And you don't think you're going to be really good at all. Like you think that this, like you shouldn't be doing this. Even thinking that way, if you can just do it anyway, you're going to come out of that conversation way more confident. You're going to have a new set of communication skills that you didn't even know were possible to have. And your mindset's going to change. Your beliefs are going to change, right? What you believe is possible, that is going to change. Your limiting beliefs that you have right now are going to be shattered, or they're going to, at least the bar is going to be raised, because now you have this proof, you have this evidence that you can actually do what you say you're going to do. So much power in that. That's what I've got for you guys today. Consistency is such an important thing, and I think we hear it talked about so often, and to a point where like it's so much that it sounds cliche. Like, yeah, everyone wants to be consistent, but guys, are you doing what you need to do? You need to do to be consistent. Are you doing your part and just showing up? Guys, sometimes that's all it is just simply showing up. So are you showing up? Are you controlling what you can control in this thing? So my hope is that take something away from this. Passionate about this stuff because there's been a handful of things that I've seen in my life recently that I've applied this simple idea of like, just start doing more and just show up and be consistent with yourself and just show up and do it every day. Like the benefits and everything that I've seen from doing that, it's incredible. It's something that I will continue to talk about because of how much it's helped me on my journey, how much it's helped me as a salesperson, as a sales trainer, as a business owner. Guys, you have control of what you want to do in your life. You completely do. Just be around the people that are doing big things and let them rub off on you and learn from them and just continue to commit to that daily consistent action, even if it's just showing up. Appreciate you guys, and we will catch you in the next episode.